Before we start the meeting today, we're going to have an invocation. Each time we meet, the invocation is given by a member of the clergy, usually of Connersville. It doesn't have to be. The invocation is given for the benefit of the Board of Works or the council. And whether or not you participate in the invocation will have no bearing on the business that you come here to conduct today. So with that, I would like for all of us to stand. I'm going to lead the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's a pleasure today to introduce to you Reverend Hurley. He comes from the First United Methodist Church, and he has come to give our invocation. Before you do, Reverend Hurley, did we have somebody in our group that was either sick or we have anything that we need to remember today? It seemed like
Brenda?
we have someone in economic development that's going through some health issues. Brenda, we'll just call her Brenda. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Lord our God, we admit our limitations before you, the finiteness of our knowledge and of our wisdom, even the finiteness and the smallness of our moral character sometimes. We do endeavor, O God, to live honorably before you and before our fellow human beings. But we admit our shortcomings. And that's why we are here now in this moment asking for your grace, your wisdom, your spirit to guide and to lead us into your will. And so I pray for humble spirits. We offer you our humble spirits, O God, in order that we may know your greatness and your will for us. Hear our prayers also for Brenda, and we pray, O Lord, that you will embrace her and keep her strong, bring her back to health. We pray for all in this community who are in poor health, those who suffer financially, those who are in deep distress. We bring this community before you, O God, and these are leaders, in order that we may accomplish that which you desire in your great will through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, sir, very much.
Call the meeting to order today, and the first order of business will be roll call.
Jane Oakley. Present. Fran Schomel.
Present.
Leonard Urban.
Present.
Mike Bishop.
Present.
Ron Coldiron.
Present.
We have all members of the Board of Works present. We have a quorum. We can do business. So I'd ask that everybody turn off their ringers on their phone. Anybody that's in the room today, please, so it's not disturbing. And then the next order of business would be the reading of the minutes of the last Board of Works meeting.
I move we accept the minutes of the last meeting from February 4th as they were written.
Second, please.
Okay. Are there any additions or corrections? Not appearing, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I guess we're skipping A, so we go directly to B, approval of a 5K run, 12-year-olds.
They couldn't be here,
They
but
couldn't be here.
they liked it.
Does anybody know about this? Anybody from the Parks Department?
No, I don't think they have any idea. They did this last year, the same thing. They're going to go the same route. And, what's her name? Kim Casaro called this morning and said that deputies from the Sheriff's Department, Jason Cloyd and Bobby Reveille, one of them will lead the runners and the other one will follow along behind them. So
If I'm not mistaken, they did that last year.
They did.
Started out the high school and ended up at Roberts
yeah,
Park.
that's
No.
they just go. They start at the high school, I think, out at the administration and come around. They just stay right out there around the high school.
Okay.
It's not the,
It's not the one they did last
no,
year?
it's the same, they did this one last year, but it's not the one you're thinking
Okay.
of.
Okay. It's okay with you then, I think this is a good legitimate thing to do. If somebody has a problem with it out there, up here.
It's for 12-year-olds, it says.
Yeah.
A 12-year-old Spartan baseball team.
I move, Your Honor, that we accept this request for this 5K run for 12-year-old travel team with Kim Casero and Jason Porter, whomever leading it.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Anybody out there? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, you have in your packet a resolution 2013, and it is for a quitclaim deed we accept from Pramco. I think everybody in this room is aware of it. We've been working on it for 4.5 years. And with your pleasure,
Does this bring it to an end?
it brings it to an end as far as us accepting the property. We have a comfort letter from IDEM. Our task now will be to transfer it on to get it back on the tax roll. We received the quitclaim deed and all of everything with it, along with $15,000. The $15,000 was earmarked to repay us for what we lost during the fire. Whatever else we've had to put in it over the last couple of years. In the fire, I'll go from memory because I don't have it before me, but I know we refueled all the fire trucks. They were here for hours and hours and hours. I think we lost a ladder.
Halligan tool and something.
Yeah. But anyway, that $15,000 was to reimburse the city, plus the water. 4 million gallons? 1 million? I know we had to turn the other pumps on. Yeah. So that $15,000 goes into the city budget. And I
Is the
presume-
removal of that tank, excuse me, Your Honor, is the removal of that tank included in that?
No, all of the environmental issues were taken care of by economic development.
Oh, good.
We still owe some money on the match, on the grant, on the phase 1, but we'll take that up at another meeting
Okay.
once we sell the
That's fine.
property.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Baker, do you have anything you want to go further on that?
Well, not much. This dovetails with the ordinance to be passed by presumably by the city council, having to do with basically the same thing, required by statute. It requires action by both city council and the executive board of works. So the legal description of the real estate is included herein by reference. And it will require an appraisal by 2 appraisers as set out in this resolution, and publication of a notice stating the amount of the offer to be accepted as required by law. So that'll all come together within the next several days, I suspect.
Any other questions?
And the county's cooperating by foregoing taxes.
They've already did that. They did that last Friday. We did not record the deed until after they okayed that the taxes would. And we ought to make it very clear that the county forgave the taxes on behalf of the city, not on behalf of Pramco.
Yes, yes.
They would not do that. One of the stipulations was that the city had to get the property. Like I say, we've been working on this way back when Doug Howard was the Economic Development Director. We started on this, and what we had planned to do is, this was a brownfield right in the middle of the city that we wanted to clean up. We started on it, and we did a phase 1, and then we had to fire, and then we had to do it over, and then we found a tank, and then we had to do it over. So finally, it's a done deal.
I move to pass resolution number 2013-06.
Second, please.
Any further discussion? Anybody have any problem? I think it's a, you want a roll call vote or just a voice vote okay with you? Yeah, let's do a roll call vote. It's important. We're accepting a piece of property here.
Jane Oakley,
Yes.
Fran Schomel.
Yes.
Leonard Urban.
Yes.
Mike Bishop,
Yes.
Ron Coldiron.
Yes.
Okay, you have voted unanimously to accept that, so that's a done deal. Resolution 2013-07, $50 refund from
Well, these aren't refunds, these are transfers.
why does she have refunds on? Airport.
Transfer.
It's transfer from
It says transfer.
refunds to subscriptions and dues.
Okay. Transfer from refunds to subscriptions and dues in the airport. And I think we can take 2013-08 to $100 from minor equipment to tires and tubes. If it's okay with you, we'll take those together.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 2013-07, 2013-08 as written.
Second.
Any discussion? Any? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, I've got on here some discussion on releasing liens, and that would be police chief.
Actually, he put it on here. I put the list of them in everybody's place. Here they are.
Okay, what they are is, these are all liens that are against the Western Avenue property that we just took ownership. You know what it totaled, Julie?
$3,439.02.
Okay, $3,439.02. This is releasing liens on our own property now, since we own the property. We forgave, got the taxes forgiven, now we need to release the liens on cleanup work that we did over there. Some of this was done right after the fire, some of it was done before the fire. We cut weeds over there, we sprayed, so it all pertains to that property. And of course, the $15,000 was to reimburse us for what we had into it. Any questions?
If not, I move that we release the liens that we have before us concerning the 1550 Western Avenue.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We'll get right into the departments. We first have the First Aid Unit Commander Dale Munson about his exhaust system.
Not the personal exhaust system, I don't think.
What we did back last March, I believe it was, we applied for a AFG grant to do an exhaust system on our building, which hooks all 3 trucks to an exhaust system to take the diesel smoke outside the building when we started. We were approved for the grant. Now we're asking for the city to agree to let us go ahead and purchase it. And we do have a 10% match. And the match came to $25.89, I believe it was. Had it written down here somewhere. That wasn't my paper.
It's $25.86.
That's $25.85.96, so just round off to $2,600 for the match.
That's coming from his budget.
No, we'll have to take it to council tonight to do an additional
Okay. Or did you intend, general fund? Or
general.
general fund, okay. So anything you would do today would be pending that we do this match, which we have to do because we don't get the money if we don't do the match.
Right.
And the
This-
council had previously approved that they would.
I thought they did.
Yeah.
Got 2 bids, Dale.
Yes, we have 2 bids. One came in from air cleaning specialists at 25, it was, up here. What I did was we have to move our furnace in our front garage, and they added a price of that after my price, so what it came down to was moving the furnace was $1864.60. So if you add that to the prices of the 2 bids, Hastings Air Cleaning was $22,347.25, and Air Cleaning Specialist was $25,859.60. And I'm asking to go with the Air Cleaning Specialist. It is $3,512.35 higher, but by the type of the system, which I give you all copies of what the system looks like, it's more up against the ceiling. It won't hang down into the way. We don't have enough room between our trucks. for the big system for the hoses to spin, and I'm afraid they're gonna damage the trucks. So I'm asking to go with this system, because it's up out of the way.
You got plenty of ceiling height in there to handle it,
With this system, yes.
even with a new truck.
The air specialist people say if they deduct something,
If we go with the old system,
that's,
what I'm calling the old system is one like it's in the fire
that's
stations now.
proposed by this one company?
Yeah, that's what they're proposing to go with. And they will deduct it down,
To 20,129,
right,
so that would make them less than
if we
the
went with,
cheapest one it shows.
right, if we went with that system.
Right, that's it.
And I'm asking not to go with that system.
Right. Well, I think we can accept the higher bid because it appears to be the better one.
Did you ask Hastings to consider an overhead system?
They don't have that system.
They don't have a system, okay.
How long does this take, Dale?
How long to install?
Yeah.
He said to figure a day per drop, so we're having 3 drops to figure 3 days. They said probably, to be safe, figure 4 days.
Including moving the furnace.
The furnace would take probably a day, so it'd take a week to get it moved and this system put in.
They're moving the electrical and the gas.
We don't have to move anything other than the furnace and
Furnace,
just
that's
cap the gas line.
This is an Indiana firm.
Yes, it's out of Indianapolis,
And I
The
noticed
other
on
one's
the,
from Michigan,
Michigan.
right, Dale?
Hastings is out of Michigan.
the first one, I don't see any warranty on it. Did they have one? The second one says there's a 5-year warranty. But Hastings didn't list the
Give me
warranty.
just a second.
I don't believe on this.
I don't see it either.
I believe it was a 1-year warranty.
1 year?
I believe, but don't hold me.
This one says 5-year warranty. I
Yes,
see.
That's
the
on,
air cleaning specialist
That's on
is,
this.
but the other one I don't see,
I'm trying to find it here.
I don't see a warranty.
Dale, I meant to ask you, is this the kind that if you forget to unhook it, it'll unhook itself when you
It
go out?
automatically unhooks. As the truck goes out the door, it unhooks.
Okay.
Both systems do that. The Hastings system is held on by a magnet, and then they did take me up to Richmond. Richmond has the Hastings system. When they started their ambulance, they pulled up about 2 feet and it fell off the hose still inside the building.
Wow.
And it's supposed to detach right at the door as the truck's going out. So that kind of made me a little nervous. And in the air cleaning specialist, they have a set of pins to help guide the lock on. So I just felt like that was
Sounds
a
like
better system.
deal, yeah.
Safer, isn't it?
And I haven't found the warranty page here yet.
It's okay,
I don't think it's wrong.
No, I didn't.
Any further
It is a
discussion?
5-year warranty, I just found it.
What do you got,
That's
what kind of
on the
system
same
you got?
You would want to
Oh, I
go
see.
with the system like Dell
Yeah, there's
proposed,
another one.
because the system we have hangs down. When it whips around, it would destroy the other vehicle at that bay. I mean, we got a lot of room in our garage, but it still whips around and knocks stuff off the bench and stuff every once in a while, so he's looking at the right system.
Okay.
I move we accept the bid from, I did the right one,
Air cleaning specialist?
Air Cleaning Specialist out of Indianapolis, with using funds from the grant with a 10% match by the city.
A second.
And the cost again is $25,859.60, as opposed to $22,347.25.
Mayor, I think we need to get on the record why the Board of Works feels this is the best bid as opposed to the other one. Since it's a larger amount than the
Okay.
one from Hastings.
I'll ask Jane, and if you'll restate your motion, Jane, as to why, so we get it all in one. If it's okay with you.
Yeah, I move we accept the bid from Air Cleaning Specialist out of Indianapolis. Even though it is the larger of the two, it is more user-friendly. It is one that fits in the building,
And there's a warranty too, I
and
think that's
the
important.
5-year warranty.
But again, I go back that if they remove one unit here, they're comparable to the other one and really under their price, John, so what do you think? I mean, on page 2 there at the bottom, it says they will deduct from the base price almost $4,000, which would bring them under the price of the Hastings and make them comparable, so
But does,
I can see where it's coming from.
but does Commander want, does he want to get that unit? That's a different unit than your,
Right.
that's not the unit that they need.
If we use the one that they're deducting, the sliding balancer track, that's similar to what Troy has in the fire
Yes,
station.
and
And that, to me, that won't work safely in our department.
Sure.
That's why I wanted to go with the.
You're gonna risk a damage in the unit if
Yeah.
you use
Right,
that.
that's what I'm afraid.
And I can verify with Mr. Munson that I've been in that building, their trucks are pretty tight there now. They really are.
Okay,
And
if,
being familiar with the loop system that the chief's talking about.
for clarity, go ahead and state your motion, Jane.
Again,
Yes, if you will. I want to be sure Julie has it.
I've almost forgotten one of them.
Julia, read it back to you here. Go ahead, Julia.
Well, I think it's mainly because it's more user-friendly and due to lack of room in the unit, one or the other.
And the warranty.
And the warranty.
In the one.
Both,
I think they
of them
both have five-
not the
I found
warranty.
it.
Okay,
Both of them
they
have
both
5
have
years.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And safety, Julie, it's a safety issue.
For safety and ease of use,
And John, isn't it legitimate? It's an Indiana company.
yes.
Yes,
That's legitimate.
right.
I'll re-second the motion.
Okay, so we have a motion, and on the floor, we have a second here that we accept the bid of air cleaning specialist, although it is 3,000 plus higher, because it is more user-friendly, because it fits into our building, because it is an Indiana company, and Mr. Our Dale has gone over to Richmond, and he prefers this system in a small building, and it'll be able to be used with the new equipment when we get it. For those reasons, we've got a motion on the floor to accept a little higher bid this time. Any further discussion?
You want a roll call vote on that, Your Honor?
We'll have a roll call vote.
Jane Oakley,
Yes.
Fran Shomel.
Yes.
Leonard Urban.
Yes.
Mike Bishop.
Yes.
Ron Coldiron.
Yes.
You have unanimously accepted the bid of, I forget what it is, but
And their exhaust system,
I know it's exhausted, but I forgot the amount.
26,000.
yeah, rounded up, 25,589.
About
60.
26. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dale.
Now, we have, last time we met, we discussed with our recreation director at the park, going over the t-ball and softball, because we were under the impression that this spring we had to take it over. And so we had our recreation director come here and talk to us. After that, before the meeting was over, Bobby Gibbs from the Boys Club came and spoke with us. So I decided at the end of that meeting, since there had been a decision made that we would take it over, and that according to parliamentary procedure, you can't rescind something you did in the same meeting, it has to be held over to the following meeting. I asked Ron Coldiron and Jane to serve on a committee to work with both the City Parks Department and the Boys Club to kind of come up with what we could do together. So I think Jane is prepared to make that report today. I know you met for lengthy hours, and I heard all the fists and throwing of things. So Jane, if you'd give us your report.
On February 15th, per the mayor's request, Mr. Coldiron and I met with the Parks Department Director and Program Director, Mr. Gibbs of the Regan Street Youth Center, and two of the center's board members. It was a productive and positive meeting with some much information needed sharing. The meeting concluded with the following items I would like to highlight. In all the subjects that we discussed, what is in the best interests of the young people of our community was always in the forefront of the discussions. Everyone at the table not only wants to see the youth center succeed, but we want to see it to become self-sustaining. The youth center agrees that assisting with property maintenance, not just with utility usage, is part of the joint effort with the city in making the t-ball and the softball fields the safest and the best they can be for the children. It is our recommendation after the meeting to this board that the City Parks and Recreation Department enter into a facility usage agreement, which was in your packets for review, I believe, with the Regan Street Youth Center. This is the same agreement that we've had in previous years, with the exception of items number 7 and 8 on page 2. In number 7, there's an increase of $45. It's now $385 for electric and water for the entire season. Item 8, the center will also provide 20% of its income for the season toward the field and facility maintenance of the fields that are used. As before, this is a one-year agreement and will be reviewed annually. With this review of our meeting results, I move that the city approve the facility usage agreement with the Reagan Street Youth Center and allow the center to continue its management of the youth t-ball and softball leagues.
Is there a second to that motion?
I would second that motion, please.
Okay, we now have a second on the motion. Now, I'd like to hear from our Parks Director and our Recreation Director.
Go ahead. I mean, they approved the contract, so
Yeah, I mean, it was.
we'll follow the contract best we can.
Is that, did you not want us to approve it? I was under the impression you wanted us to approve it.
If you want my honest opinion,
Yes.
I think we should run the programs, but I'm okay with the contract. I mean, I can work with them either way we go. But,
So, we want to hear, after all, you are city. We want to hear everything you got to say.
So, I mean, the biggest thing I had was the city just needs to take back their facilities and all the parks. And the best way to do that is running the programs. But with the addition of the 20%, we can start going that direction now, hopefully. But I don't know if there are any other, I don't want to speak for him. That's my opinion.
No, we just want to get our stuff back up to use where it's best for the kids. I mean, that's really what we're looking for.
What is the cost of T-ball going to be in Connersville in 2013?
$25.
Is that the same thing that you proposed?
That's what we propose.
And if you have a second kid in a family,
Still 25.
so it's 50 for two kids. And
And softball, I believe theirs is 35. And that's what I was.
So we also do 18 and under and 14 and under, which I believe Daryl's roof flowers is percentage.
Number 8 says a club will give 20% of the income to Connersville Parks and Recreation from T-ball and softball plus contract fees. Contract fees, is that this electric, water? and
Yeah.
water?
This is-
Okay.
yeah,
Number
that's
six.
that.
Okay, all right.
That's about estimated 30% of the bill, of our water electric bill down there. It's kind of hard because everything's, a lot of different meters, they overlap on each other, so it's kind of estimated.
Yeah, what do you think 20% of the income will be? What will you receive?
We kind of guessed about $2,500.
How far will this go in doing the improvements that you anticipate doing?
It's going to take a while to build up to do the concession stand and the press box down there. We're probably looking at about $10,000 to redo all that.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's going to take us a little time to
Yes.
build that up to do that, but that's what definitely needs to be done.
We're gonna try to spend a little bit of money before the season starts and do a little work on the field. We just have to come out of our facility agreement money. Normally we till the fields up, get them all cleaned up, ready to go for the season. We'll do the same thing this year.
The goal is to build that up so we can build a new concession stand and press box.
What's your priority? What's number one? What are you going to use the $2,500 for?
This year we'll get the fields ready. We'll probably cut them up like we do the other ones, dig the dirt up, put some fertilizer on the fields and start with that, and then try to build our money up for the rest of the
They'll
project.
go into a non-reverting fund.
Yeah.
They'll build up,
Okay.
so we can use it.
Basically maintenance, right?
Yeah, until we get to where we can do the other stuff.
Anything else?
Representative Boys Club here would like to speak.
Just briefly.
Yeah, up here. You gotta speak up here.
Sorry, I probably didn't speak loud enough for back there. No, really, I thought it was a productive meeting. Commend the way Jane and Ron impartially facilitated it. There was some give and take. Everyone got something. Nobody walked away with nothing. I think it's in the best interest of the kids, the programs. Well, the agreement that I thought that we reached at the end of that meeting, I think is the best one that everyone could have hoped for. appreciate the opportunity to have an opportunity to even sit down, because, you know, at the end of last meeting, it was, oh, lights out, time to sing your song and walk away. But now we get another year to do the program that we've been doing for 20 plus years, and in that interim, you know, maybe working with the Parks and Rec Department and Mike and Daryl, we can improve the facility. We can, you know, we're willing to work with them if there are things that need to be done. You know, we won't do anything unless we're asked for of it or it's pointed out to us. And some of those things came out in the meeting, I think. So, you know, we're happy with the agreement. I hope everyone else is. And any questions?
Any questions?
I have this thing about 11 o'clock turning the lights off. I've received complaints late at night of people going by saying
Well, that normally
there's no activity and the lights are burning, what's going on?
Yeah, I've seen that myself.
Yes.
And
It's somewhat,
we're not the only one who has access to where the light switch is. And I think we discussed.
Their responsibilities when they leave, turn the lights out.
And we
I'm
try
not
to do
saying
that.
and we use it for other things too.
And I'm not saying that we haven't left the lights on. Lord knows, my wife's yelled at me enough times that I don't turn the lights out. But for the most part, I don't believe that's something that we've been doing.
okay, thanks, Bob.
No problem. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And again, Ron and Jane, thank you both. Thank you guys for being there too.
Mayor, I'd like to say that I probably had more public phone calls on this matter than I've had since I've been on the Board of Works. And there's some really strong passion out there about keeping the boys club intact. And so I think it was a good trade. I really think it was a very good trade. So.
Okay. I think we've got a motion on the floor. We've got a second. Is there any further discussion? Everybody had an opportunity to voice what they...
I just have two more things after you guys.
Yeah, I know.
This.
I know. John, do I have to rescind the vote last, or can we just have this motion covered up?
This motion will be to do exactly what you want to do now and amend all,
I should have that in the motion in some sort, though, that...
Yeah, the former motion is hereby rescinded. Former resolution is hereby rescinded, pardon me.
Okay. Can we word it that way, that the former motion is hereby rescinded, and
That'd
the
be resolution.
motion that Jane just made on behalf of the committee is on the floor with a second. Okay. Any other discussion? I'll have a roll call vote.
Jane Oakley,
Yes.
Fran Schomel,
Yes.
Leonard Urban,
Yes.
Mike Bishop,
Yes.
Ron Coldiron.
Yes.
Okay, I would ask one thing. I would like to see a report at the end of the season, back to this board, how it went. Okay? I don't know if that's in your agreement, Jane.
It's in there.
Is it in?
It's in the
But if
agreement.
we remember that, we want to see how it went and look at the figures and how things went and what they put into the fields, okay? Okay, you got some other business? for
Yeah,
us,
I put a copy of the Babe Ruth agreement. I know you guys haven't had time to read it, so we can do that. The next Board of Works, after you have time to go through that. It's not an urgent thing.
Yeah, that was in our packet.
I just
No.
Oh,
added
was it
it.
the Babe Ruth?
It's right here.
Oh,
I
okay.
just
I thought I
added
saw
that. And
Do you want to go over that today, or what do you want to do?
I don't know, it's up to the board. It's pretty much the same contract we use every year. I just didn't get to you in time for you guys to look over it. I hate for you to vote for something that you didn't have a chance to really read over too much.
Well, if we wait till next time to approve that agreement, it's going to hurt you, Tyler.
No, it won't hurt us any.
Let's let that lay
Okay.
over then. Okay.
And the other thing, I would like to get approval. Every year we run a pool pass discount for the month of March, and we would like to do that again. 15% off of our regular price for the month of March. And we usually sell
This year.
$1,000,
Yeah, probably.
$1,000 worth of tickets that month. Usually a pretty good hit with the public to do that for them for that month.
When's that begin?
Month of March.
Okay.
Does that need to be a motion?
Yeah.
I would make a motion to allow Mike to go ahead with his discount price for the pool. I guess that's a season ticket?
Yeah, season passes, I'm sorry.
Season pass. And for the month of March, offer it to the public for 15% off regular price.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second that we allow Mike Betancourt to do his season pass at a discounted rate. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. You do that.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
All right, well, thank you.
That's all you've got today, Mike?
That's all I got.
Okay. While you're here, before you leave, I want to, hey, wait a minute, I'm not done. I hear that there's been a terrific honor bestowed upon you,
I was gonna bring that up.
and I thought we should probably acknowledge that both in this meeting and the meeting tonight.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how to say it. Are you Coach of the Year?
It's
or-
the Indiana Wrestling Coach of the Year for the state of Indiana.
Very good.
Very good.
No, we're
This is
number
your
one in
Pepsi.
water, right, Dave? In the state? We're number one in water? Hey, we're number one in coaching wrestling, too. We get to be number one in a few more things.
We need that wrestling coach with his water, right?
Now, you'll be going to a banquet and getting that honor, right?
Right,
When
right.
is that?
It was yesterday.
You beat us.
Does your paper have a big write-up with a front-page headline?
Yeah,
Huh?
they did that already.
You-
I didn't get my little plaque yesterday.
news.
Well, I don't care. You ain't in charge here. You don't have a dog in this fight, man.
Bring
Put
out
that
that
on your
whip.
radio.
I will.
Okay. But we have a
Congratulations.
man here that works for the city that's being honored and being Coach of the Year of the whole state of Indiana. To me, it's a big thing.
That is,
I never
it
got
is.
to get that honor. I was always afraid to fight.
We've already covered.
Well, anyway, we're very proud of you, Mike.
I
And
say
we'll mention it
congratulations.
after. We'll mention it tonight at the city council meeting, see if we get a better response.
Good job. Proud of you.
I'll bring my plaque.
Utilities.
Hi,
Good
Bill.
afternoon, everybody. I've just got a couple things. First thing is a request for a business to have their trash picked up over on East Fifth Street. So, hair and nail salon. We need the board's approval for that.
I move that we accept this request for trash for 1132 East Fifth Street from Jennifer, can you read the last name?
Lakes.
Lakes, sorry.
I'll second.
Any discussion? I was gonna ask Mr. Joe, the street superintendent, what route that would be on, but he walked out of the room.
It was here a minute ago.
It's on
East-
Fridays,
east-
right?
Friday's
Friday,
route.
East Side route.
It's over by you. Okay.
We'll make sure that he's aware of
Okay, and they get a toter.
it. Yes.
Okay, we don't collect up anything on that toter. Is there any discussion on this issue? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
John, under the new rules with the Board of Works running the trash, do I have to take this city council?
Day-to-day operation.
I think it gives the Board of Works the authority to do that, does
Right,
it
it
not?
does, right. The only thing that's, the city council has is a basic framework ordinance.
Yeah.
Which we're amending tonight, by the way,
Right.
as you know, to some extent, but otherwise, the Board of Works has the authority to manage the trash details
Okay.
granted by the city council.
All right, go ahead, Bill.
Okay, the next thing I have is the last pay claim on Area 003, and this is for the release of retainage for that project in the amount of $9,390 to CK Excavating.
That inspection's been done and everything's done?
The project is complete. It's under the warranty period right now. They've warranted everything for a year.
A year,
So the $18,000 is done, or is that a different subject?
no, that's different.
Sorry, excuse me.
This is what we owed the contractor.
I know that, but I thought that was.
Was there any grass planting or sod in this one?
I think there was a little bit. I'm not sure if it I don't think any of it germinated this year. It was a little bit late, so. But that's included in the warranty, anything.
This is our final payment. This is not inspection.
Okay, I understand.
I have no problem with paying it if you folks agree.
Well, is this a grant?
No, this is our own money.
Okay, I thought it was. Well, I move that we make a final payment on the project 003, $9,390.
And I'll second that, please.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to make the final payment on that water separation or sewer separation project. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I guess the only other thing that I have is, I know the mayor is aware of this, but we're going to start contract negotiations on the 26th.
This week.
I didn't know if you were making any preparations for that at this point, or it may be a little early.
Is there anybody on this board that would like to negotiate that contract?
I done it last year, I'll do it this year if you want.
All by yourself?
No. I got two heads or what?
I'm looking for somebody to do it all by themselves.
With you, with Bill?
Without me.
Pardon me?
Without me.
Well, if you want to do it, I'm not bashful. I'll do whatever you ask me to do, as long as Bill's with me.
I think that it's important that
If you want me to, I mean, I'm just volunteering. I'm not. I done it last year. If somebody else wants to do it, that's fine.
we'll take care of that on the 26th. But what's, do you want to talk about the arbitration? Where we are on that? I think this board needs to know where we are.
Well, on that same day, Bob Fox, which is the representative from their union, and myself, we're going to sit down and choose an arbitrator to be the third party in that case. And then if we're successful in doing that, since they're the ones that initiated arbitration, he'll be the one that will contact the arbitrator and set up the arrangements and dates to sit down and arbitrate the case. So we'll decide that on, next Tuesday as well.
I think I want to be in on that meeting and pick the arbitrator.
That's fine with me.
That's one meeting I think I want to be in on.
Well, it'll be, it's scheduled for right after the negotiation session.
Okay. The utility contract's up the end of June, and so we need to probably several meetings between now and June.
Yep.
And I'll be glad to take your ability to negotiate, just put you right on there without a problem.
That's fine. If someone else wants to do it, I don't want to.
Oh, we want you to do it.
Well, thank you.
We're excited.
I feel so blessed.
And I guess with that, unless there's any questions, that's all I have.
Thank you, Bill.
Dang, you're short today.
Yeah. Pretty good, Bill.
Fire Department, Troy?
We've been waiting to get Nate's paperwork back from PERF, and we got certified mail today, this morning, so I'm just asking if you'd go ahead and approve hiring Nate Stevens to replace Robin Beatty. He's recommended by the safety committee, and he's met all the requirements the state has. Brings a lot to the table. He's an instructor. He's been through a lot of classes, as far as firefighter 1 and 2. He's an EMT advanced. He's got his hazmat certifications. He's a training officer with Liberty Fire Department, and he has an associate's degree in architectural design. Came out of Union County. We're asking you to hire him to replace Robin.
Let me reiterate what we've said before. In order to take as much as we can the fire department out of politics and out of what I read in the paper called cronyism, we developed a safety committee. Why are you laughing at me when I say that? You did funny today.
Oh, I laugh, Mayor.
Anyway, we appointed a safety committee, and a safety committee, again, I always have to ask you, consists of
Me and Ron and the
so a member of
president,
the Board of Works, the fire chief,
and president of the union and 2 members voted on by the union body,
Okay.
the 2 firefighters.
They meet and look at the applicants and those people that are coming from the part-time firemen, and they make a recommendation. It came to me first in this case, and then we come to you. This is their recommendation. We've had it to you before, and today's the day we make it official. By hiring him, we fulfill the need of the contract, then we're at 25
Yes.
officers. Any questions? This is your last chance to say no. That's what I tell people when they get married. This is your last chance to say no. Olive, take a motion.
I will make a motion to accept Nathan Stevens as a replacement for Robin Beatty as full-time fire.
I'll second.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. He'll be on probation for 120 days,
And by the state law, it's a year.
a year.
Yeah.
I thought the contract has nothing
Yeah,
to
it can't supersede the state.
so it's a year, okay.
I'd just like to say thank you guys for this
Oh, let
opportunity.
me vote.
I'm
Don't
sorry.
thank you till I vote.
There's still some no's that can
Worse is yet to come.
Sorry.
Worse is yet to
All
come.
right, so-
Any further discussion?
Sit down.
Not appearing, let's have a roll call vote.
Jane Oakley,
Yes.
Fran Shomel.
Yes.
Leonard Urban.
Yes.
Mike Bishop,
Yes.
Ron Coldiron.
Yes.
Now you.
Now.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank you guys for this opportunity. It's been a true blessing to be part of this department and to serve this great community, so thank you guys.
I want to ask you, you've been through the whole procedure now. How do you think the part-time employees is going? How do you think it's working?
I think it worked out well. Being a firefighter in Liberty for a few years, I've learned a lot just being, on part-time with the Connersville Fire Department, and I think they do a great job, and the part-time guys do a great job as well.
Yeah, we're very proud of our part-timers. They do this real well.
You've been replacing him as a part-timer?
As of right now, no, we're gonna evaluate and see how it goes through the year if we need to.
How many part-timers?
That still leave us at 7.
Okay.
Now, what I need to make clear to you guys, when you hire a part-time fireman, it's not like you can go out on the street and find one. You gotta find one that's qualified.
Yes.
And they aren't just running up and down the street. So many of our part-time firemen, in fact, the majority, don't live in Fayette County. They come from someplace else where they're on another fire department. And by the same token, people are always stealing our EMTs. We have our EMTs and they're trained, and then they'll go to another department that pays more, and that happens. I know I've been criticized because we don't hire all Fayette County or Connersville people. Like I say, they're just not running up and down the streets. I think we have 1 or 2 that live in Connersville
I
part-time.
think we still have 4. They're in different steps as far they're at, as far as when the committee met with the officers, and we didn't take this lightly. It's only fair to hire the best person for the job, the most qualified, the one that brings the most to the taxpayers. So that's where we're at. But we still have 4 of the 7 left. And then eventually we'll have to open it back up.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and enjoy working with you.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you.
I want a picture of you, Troy, with your new man. Okay. Do we have any public information, public business today to discuss? Anybody here? Miscellaneous business? Old business? Yes, Jane?
Back in January, we entered into an agreement with the Bicentennial Committee, and I think in that agreement, they were going to furnish us with financials once in a while to make sure where the cities.
Julie and I went were with them this morning and told them they would have to have their report here by the 4th.
Okay, good, that was gonna be
When we
my
entered into
question.
that agreement, they are in the process of hiring an accountant and getting things.
That was gonna be
So
my
we told them
request.
this morning they had to have their first report, and we will ask them to report monthly thereafter.
Okay, and that can just be a written,
Yeah, it'll
A
be
written
both the
spreadsheet then, okay.
activities, Mr. Baker wants to know the activities and the places, so we can go with the insurance company. And the finances will be reported to you
Okay.
monthly, so you can keep a watch on those.
very good, thank you.
Any discussion about the bicentennial? No, they just didn't have enough time after the resolution was passed to get everything ready for this meeting.
Is there anything, Your Honor, to your knowledge or to Jane's knowledge outstanding that has to be done between now and then that maybe we need help with or anything? Just asking a general question.
You mean for the bicentennial?
Yes,
Oh, there's hundreds of things.
I understand that.
Are you talking about financially?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
okay.
On the stormwater report, are we okay? We're spending quite a bit of money from stormwater on the sewer separation thing. Bill, 951,000, the ending cash balance.
I think let me check.
Okay,
It's in the back of your
just want to
packet.
be, in your opinion, are we okay? And
We've got some of that invested. So
All right.
We've actually got 1.4 in there.
yes, with the total ending funds, right?
We knew that was gonna drop quite a bit out.
Yeah, that's what
I thought I had the report in here.
It's here.
It should be.
And the bill.
You don't have it.
We did invest some of that, so here, Mayor, take mine. Here.
Actually, I think I told you the sewer balance in that thing. But we've got 1.45 in the
In
balance.
stormwater, right.
Stormwater, yeah.
Well, we took a little bit out of it today.
Yes, the sewer is 1.4 with the investments, and the water is 649. I was just wondering how we were doing if we,
I think it's gonna be a while before we can afford another project on our own, unless it's a small project.
Yeah, well, we've got the Grand Avenue project coming up, and we've got to come up with, I'm not really sure exactly what that is now, Julie. But
I'd like to
think-
get an idea though.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking that about, our total part of that was $777,000. And I believe that we've already spent somewhere in the neighborhood of $430,000 on engineering and stuff so far.
okay,
So we're gonna have to come up with the difference to start this.
to be around 3 million, is it?
Yeah,
We got 2.5 from this
2.6.
grant. The checks were 2.5, and the cardboard check.
Cardboard check.
I think it is, Your Honor, somewhere around
We
there.
had
But
it for a while.
once we realize this Grand Avenue project, it's gonna be probably 2 years before we're going to do another phase, which this fund should start building back up.
Okay, good. What does it bring in monthly, have you any idea?
So it should say right there.
Somewhere,
Our receipts there, yeah, were $75,000 a month.
okay,
roughly.
yeah, I see it here, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we take a little bit out of that every month for some things we do.
Mhm.
Yeah, when we don't have a project going on, the draw off of it's fairly minimal.
If you're comfortable with it, I'm ready for the claims.
Okay,
You want facilities first, Your Honor?
Whichever you want to do.
yes, go ahead, Mike.
Water claims is $101,591.53. Sewer was $132,942.72. Stormwater was $22,785.62. And trash was $53,800.99. for a total of $311,120.86.
Okay, city claims 265, the amount with $357,847.71. But the majority of that money was insurance, Julie.
Yeah, like 210,000.
Right, and are those one-time a year payments?
Part of it is workman's comp, and that's the biggest part of it.
Okay.
But the other part, we pay every 6 months.
And that's on property?
Yes.
This is not health insurance?
No, it's not health insurance.
I move we accept the claims that they've asked.
May I ask a question before we do? I have one question. Your Honor, it says City Hall on here. What is this switch gear at Vistion? Is that for electric or what is it?
That was a gear that went bad, water got into the box, and we had to replace it, and we had a couple of bids on that, and it was gonna be like 35,000. I think we got it done. Give me 18,000?
18,000.
Yeah, it's 18,605.
We took that money out of the, we appropriated that money from the money that we got from the down payment on the building.
Oh, good, okay, thank you. Excuse me, Dan, sorry.
For these fire uniforms for the part-time guys, we had several fire uniforms from the uniform house, Troy, you know.
It was, the new hires,
Okay.
the 3 new hires from last year, 2 from last year, and then
There are 6 different ones here.
this is the way they brought them on, the bills, they had to order part of them. So it's half of the uniform they had there, and half they had to order, and then tailor.
Okay.
Used trailers.
Wait, you got any other questions?
No, I just noticed the Vistion insurance keeps going up.
Yeah, we
On
didn't
the
like
building.
that. We didn't like that. We're gonna talk about that here in just a minute. We get the claims.
Okay.
Jane, you wanna go ahead with your motion?
Yeah, I move we accept the claims as they've been presented.
We got a motion and a second to accept the claims. Roll call vote.
Jane Oakley,
Yes.
Fran Showman.
Yes.
Leonard Urban.
Yes.
Mike Bishop.
Yes.
Ron Coldiron.
Yes.
We did receive that increase in that insurance. We hope we don't have to carry that very long.
Yeah, I keep,
It's a monthly thing,
right.
and it keeps going up. It's hard to insure an empty building.
Yeah.
Also, you remember up there, they completely redid the front with new glass, and so there's a lot more risk. I shouldn't even say that. I want to say a couple of things. Number one, we had some damage in the park. First damage we've had since we put the camera system in. I'm pretty upset about it. They printed or wrote on the wall behind the air conditioner on the 4-H building. I think it's the same people that went up the alley painting buildings. We do have a pretty good image on our camera, and I can tell you those people will be punished to the utmost.
Amen.
And I want your men to watch those alleys. We had all kinds of spray paint done. When was it done, on Friday or Saturday?
Saturday, I think.
It also, it happened about a week ago also.
Okay.
This isn't the first report of that. In fact, we had a breakout of that about 2 years ago also.
Oh, I want to break it up. I'll break it out.
They did a lot of the certain places up in the old industrial park.
It shouldn't be too difficult to find out where they're getting the paint. You got only a few paint stores that sell paint.
They're doing
And
the
it's
same
all
thing.
red, isn't
It's
it?
all been red that I've seen.
Yeah. So who's buying red paint? But I'm telling you, when they paint the building up in the park, they get me pretty upset.
They did
And
the
we
same
have,
thing at the behind the Sherman-Williams building too, not too long.
we have refocused the camera, and I can guarantee anybody that does any painting in the park will be bright on the camera, because it's ready.
It's all red.
Everything I've seen is red.
I haven't seen anything else but red.
Well, we had some vandalism up on 8th Street where that fence got painted
Right.
green.
Yeah.
Okay, remind your men, watch the alleys, more patrols in the park, and I'll tell you, when, just as soon as we get a nice clear picture on our cameras up there, we'll be turning that over to you to carry them in.
Okay.
I think we know who one is. Okay. I want to talk about the 4-H building, where nearing about 85% complete. Now, all the plumbing is done, both water and sewer. We've pressure tested the plumbing and everything works good. Ron helped me, all the drywall is in. It's all finished, I believe, almost ready for painting. Everything's painted except the restrooms and the kitchen. We got, he should be putting another set of windows in today so that I can get the draperies cut. We've got a Mr. Whipple up at Luckett's Upholstery, which is now Bennett's Upholstery, is doing the draperies for us, and he's ready to start cutting them and sewing them. We've spoke for the appliances, and we've taken quotes on all the kitchen material, the cabinets and things, and that's why I was a little late for this meeting. I think I've got a group that's going to finance the kitchen. Been working, and we also want to talk about the 20th of April, our chicken fry by the KFC. So be sure to be talking about that and selling tickets. That'll help us a lot. Mention that in your newspaper and your radio every chance you get, if you would. I don't want to tell you what to do. I'm just asking you very nicely now. Very nicely. There's two things I wanted to. I don't like the red paint. We need the chicken fry, and if there's anybody out there that would like to volunteer some time at the park, we got a lot of cleanup now needs to be done inside the building. We've sanded the drywall and painted it, and so there's a lot of cleanup. If you'd like to volunteer up there, we can. I want to compliment I call it the building trades. Am I saying it right? No? Vocational. I'm not allowed to say that. You're supposed to say
Career Center.
Career Center.
Building Trades, yes.
Building Trades. They are doing a terrific job trimming all the windows and putting the trim back in. They've got all the baseboard in. They've done the electrical down below. It's just really coming together real good. I'm hoping to have the council meeting up there in March. If we do, we'll have the Board of Works up there too. If Mr. Pawsey can get the signal down to here so we can do it. But it's really coming good. Any questions on anything we're doing? I'm going to brief the City Council this evening on all our economic development stuff in a private session. And is it all right for me to invite them to come, these people?
Has it been published?
No, it wasn't advertised at the Board of Works.
It was or wasn't?
It was not.
You can't come then. Shoot. Dang. That's Melissa's fault. I gotta blame that on her. You have anything else, Ron?
No, I'm fine.
You're at the 4-H building a lot. Yes. You've helped me with lots of things. What do you think?
I think it's a tremendous project. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be one of our better buildings as far as usage. I can just see numerous activities going on there. You know, when we worked that building during the fair, one night during the fair, the response that I got on that building from our general public was just tremendous. They're pretty excited about it.
I think people wants to see it go.
Yeah, they were very happy. I had a couple of ladies tell me they had exhibits there where they were in 4-H and the flowers over here and something else was over there and something else was in the basement, so it brought back a lot of memories.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to bring up today?
I have a question, Your Honor, if I may. Mr. Joe, now that you have the new trash truck, which is running very well, and I commend the operator and you for getting it going, and the streets look so much neater with the trash cans lined up, what are we doing with the people now that used to pick up the trash?
I guess I have to come there. What,
just briefly.
We've been patching holes. There's just so many things that needs to be done. We're just doing it all the time. Today I'm, 2 trucks out patching holes. And we're doing alleys, we're doing streets, we're doing anything we can. There's a hole, we're just filling it. So.
If you have a pothole, you just need to call the street department.
You need to call.
I guarantee in 24 hours we'll be there, unless it's Saturday. It'll be 36 hours, we'll be there Monday.
We've been getting some patch from the county, and that's been working out pretty well for us too. So it's handy to use.
He also cleaned 3rd Street Hill. If you noticed how nice and clean it is, he cleaned the bridge. It's nice and clean.
People swept the different sidewalks. But today we did the sidewalk up Park Road. We got the sweeper from the transfer station and took the tractor up through there and did that whole sidewalk.
from
We only have 12 people left at street clearing. If we were running 6 people on trash now, we wouldn't be able to do anything.
It's another thing that people need to understand is what we're doing is on the holidays, we're running the holidays. So we don't interrupt the week. So every day is trash day as normal. The only problem we're going to have is when we come up to Thanksgiving, Christmas, that time. But the whole summer, if it's a holiday, we're going to pick up trash.
You brought that comment up.
So
How
we
about
did pretty well yesterday.
How about your idea about where you're going to do the one day, once a month, picking up the...
Well, we got, when I left this morning, we had 27 people that had called in.
Good.
So we have 27 people next Monday to start picking up stuff at their house. And it's 3 or 4 items, and it's just like we said. But the response has been pretty good, and there's been some, well, you pick this up and pick that up. Well, it's nice that they call and we know ahead of time what's going on, and they know what we will and won't do. So it's been nice.
I believe once you get that in motion, that's not going to put such a
There's
strain
a
on
lot,
your
I took a little drive this morning, and I found probably 27 more couches and 27 more bed springs and all that stuff. So there's still a lot to go. But anyway, I really appreciate it.
Some too, also when we started.
Stand up there if you're gonna talk, chief.
Yes, sir. When we started getting some work orders together on some of these houses to be boarded up or possibly even tore down, then his crew is going to be doing most of that work. And I don't know what we're going on doing on Terrytown yet or anything. We'll have to discuss that, but they're coming. And it's just a process that we have to go through and with John and everything else. And
How many properties are you looking at right now? Just give me a rough estimate.
50. And then you mentioned a couple this morning, and I've got one here that Fran just gave me to look at too. But I'm talking 50 properties that need to either be looked at for boarding up or I hate using the word tore down, but something's going to have to be done with them. And it's like we're looking at one right now, and we're going to board it up, but instead of paying the money or the materials and stuff to board this house up, it really needs to be tore down. And Dave and I have been working pretty good together, and to put that much money in plywood and everything else to board up windows and doors and all this, versus if in the making we can get it tore down, that's money saved. We don't have to invest in. So, but probably I'm safe to say 50 properties or more.
I'm hoping the legislature takes some action this year. There is a bill pending before them to give the cities some assistance and aid in these abandoned houses. I mean, it's, in fact, the senator that represents Richmond is the guy that proposed it because Richmond City has been putting pressure on him because they have a tremendous amount of abandoned buildings.
It seems like it's worse today and tomorrow, I mean, versus it was a year or two ago. I mean, I'm flooded with these properties, and one, I'm not going to mention his name, one gentleman had over 30 properties that he was a landlord, so to speak, owned all these properties, and then through the economy and layoffs and stuff like this, we've got a lot of houses that are, I went out here last week and inspected them houses, and I mean, I felt like I needed a bath after I walked out of them, because they're so bad with mold and everything else, and it's bad. It's really bad, and I don't know what the solution is, and I hate to go out and pay money for plywood and stuff to board all these houses up when...
Just to take it back off again.
Yeah.
Well, you need to get this together and go to city council, and then we'll see what city council...
What I like to see to happen is like we mow grass, when trash gets that high, we go in and clean it up and bill them. I can take any of you up and down any alley and show you at least one property, if not 2 or 3, that has so much stuff in the backyards.
Yeah.
Well, I think we need to somehow get this where we can just go in and clean it up. I mean, we go through the legalities, we go through the courts, we go through all that. Okay, so it's fall before we can get anything done on a property. Well, that's not right. It's not right to the neighbors.
What I like to do, and working with Dave, I've been trying to fine tune this thing, and it takes a little time to do this because, like this morning, I was over at the courthouse with just a few properties to get who the lien holders are, what mortgage companies. You find out this mortgage company sold to another mortgage company, but who's the contact, and it takes a little time to dig and everything else just to bring it to John. And so what I'm trying to do is get this to where it's going to be operating a little more smoothly, to where we can have a routine that how we're going to do this. And right now it's kind of chaos the way it is, because we've got old properties that's been sitting there for a while that's had letters put on them from years ago, and that nothing was ever done. And here I'm getting new ones, and I'm trying to back up on the old ones and the new ones, and the one that you were talking about up on Flint Drive. I looked at that, took pictures of it and everything here a few months ago. But at the same time, that property was looked at months ago, and then we had some people come in here to a meeting, said they want to be remodeling and all that. It looked like they did go in there and do a few things, and all of a sudden they stopped, and we still got a big dumpster out there in the middle of the yard and everything else. Well, it's not off the radar, it's still there, and we're gonna deal with it, but you know, it's to the point that we have to come up with a routine, how we can operate this thing smoothly and take care of these problems. But getting to that point to how we're gonna actually do it, and I've learned a lot this morning at the courthouse. So, we're just gonna go from there.
Chasing the records is a full-time job.
It is. So, you know, and, you know, even if we still had our ordinance enforcer back, he can help on the situation, but really sending the letters out through me and the secretary and John is basically how it's gotta be. That's how it's gonna have to work, so.
And all that's a bit of a moot point unless we have money to tear them down anyway.
Exactly.
So if we go through all these steps and then we don't have any money to tear them down.
We can't, and I've had several contractors come in and say, hey, you gonna tear this house down over here? I'm interested in taking it, you know, and I said, no, we're not there yet. And we've discussed maybe doing it ourselves if we got the proper equipment. So, because when he brought up the manpower situation, I can see where they're gonna be utilized, especially this summer. So.
I'm just looking for a green light.
How about the salt?
Tearing the house down is not the big trouble, it's disposing of all the stuff comes out of the house, that's the problem. If we can make it disappear, you know, that's the problem.
It's to our own landfill.
Yeah. Any other items of business to come here today? Yes, sir.
I had Fire Chief at Glenwood called me right before this meeting. They would like permission to use the gator. They're assisting with the Lions Club at New Salem on a sale. It's a very large sale, and they wanted to use our gator down there for medical response time. And I want to see if I get permission from you.
Is it the Lions Club or is it the?
Fire Department at Glenwood.
It's the Glenwood Fire Department.
Yeah, they want to use it to provide protection for the Lions Club sale at New Salem.
We can allow the fire department to use that. We would have to have a certificate of insurance in case someone gets hurt on it.
That's no problem.
Is that right, John?
Yes.
Well, what are you talking about? What's a gator?
That's the thing we haul people around at the fair. It's got a stretcher on it, and if you get hurt, you helped pay for it. We were on the council when they brought it. It's got a stretcher on one side, and it picks people up like if they get hurt at the fair.
John Deere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a means of transportation.
That's a John Deere gator.
That's what a gator is. You can give permission to use that to another fire department, but we do need a certificate of insurance, and you need to be responsible for it if you're gonna do it.
They used it last year.
It's up to this board if you wanna give permission. I'll take a motion if you wanna give permission to let the.
So move.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We do need a certificate of insurance before we leave, so in case someone gets hurt on it.
Okay,
What
thanks.
date is that, Bill?
This coming Saturday, the 23rd.
We store it in between, we don't use it only at the fair, and
Okay.
I don't know, a few other things. Where do you store it? The order, we shouldn't say on TV. Better not say where you store it. Any other business to come before the
Garage.
So I'll paint red on the John Deere green.
I move we adjourn if there's no other business.
Second.
Got a motion to adjourn, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.